Caruana is leading by half a point over Wesley So. Could be rather important that he missed that mate against Wesley in an earlier round. He'd be in a much stronger position going into the final round. All right, and so I was playing Mishra, who had been undefeated for 71 games until he ran into Mr. Hans Niemann. In this game, Caruana has the white pieces, and he plays a rather unambitious system against the Najdorf. He plays this Finchetto system. And playing the white pieces here, he has control over d5, but black seems to be doing fine here. And in fact, it seems for most of the game that it's just level. We have a bit of to and fro going back here. And I had made the statement that sometimes it feels like Fabiano lacks killer instinct. Well, today, this game shows otherwise because this game is pretty level. And we would expect maybe a draw to result from this kind of position. It's opposite colored bishops. So when you have a bishop on the light square as white or facing black that has a dark squared bishop, it moves along, shuttles on these dark squares, the two will never be able to meet in combat. They're, two ships passing in the night. They'll never meet. It can favor you in the middle game when you're attacking because you can come in on that color square complex and attack, and the opponent can't defend against it, or at least they're one piece down trying to defend it. And in endgames, they tend to be drawish, but we'll see that that's not always the case here. And so this position looks pretty level. Just a bit of back and forth. Mishra probably just saying, hey, show me what you got. Can you do anything? Take a chance and maybe you'll lose. And finally, on move 47, Fabiano decides to get the queens off because he likes the change in the pawn structure. And I have a feeling that he was really looking at this position while making some of his waiting moves, trying to slowly improve his pieces. This is actually a technique in chess. Sometimes when you don't have like an active plan, you do these little things to help improve your position, and pretty soon this can turn out to be a big deal. And so it looks like he was feigning trying to break through with the pawns here. And we're getting close to a threefold repetition, but he avoids it. And it looks like maybe he's going to come in on the queen side, where he should be able to win, if he's careful. Now, in the commentary, the move bishop to b5 was pointed out as being advantageous for Fabi. He played king d2 instead. And here, they do exchange off some pawns. But these pawns, the 3 against the 2, are blockaded. There's no attack that's going to happen here. You're just sacrificing a pawn if you ever push the c pawn to c4. Whereas there is this extra pawn here, and this bishop is cut off now. So this is particularly interesting. And we have these exchanges of pawns. And the black king is forced into a passive position in which he's just kind of off sides, and he can't really help defend against the attack over on the queen side. Fabi's up a pawn, and you're wondering how is he going to make use of that pawn? Well, he's going to bring his king on over. And now that g pawn looks like a dangerous running pawn. However, there's the check. And big mistake, going into a discovery, it looks like you're setting a little bit of a trap, because if he takes the rook, you push the pawn, and you get his rook back, but you're in a dead lost endgame now. This black king is too far away to be of any service to its lone pawn on this outpost, and this bishop is going to be overworked, even though it is on the opposite color from this bishop. This is a light squared bishop for white, this is a dark squared bishop. And after the following move here, we just have resigns, because white can very easily just help escort this pawn in, and black will have to give up his bishop to stop that, and then it's just a very elementary win with a bishop and 2 pawns against the king, and this pawn will drop off very shortly after the bishop leaves the board. So this was a fascinating encounter. It showcased the fighting spirit because it looked like it was just a kind of drawn position, and Caruana, knowing that Wesley So won his game today, needs to keep a little bit of an edge going into the final round, and he's that little bit ahead, a half point ahead of Wesley So. Now, had he found the 4-move checkmate that he had in their personal encounter earlier in this event, well, it wouldn't be so much pressure on him now, perhaps. But we'll see. It'll all be decided tomorrow, the final round, and I hope you'll tune in and check it out with me, and definitely visit the St. Louis Chess Club's website and keep up on all the latest and greatest. All right, I'm wishing you and yours all the best. Stay well, be well. Peace out.